Welcome everyone to Monday, Bob and Phineas. That's right. It is Monday. It's a good day. It's the start of the new week. So we always get a fresh start, as I was telling Phineas in the green room. It's good to be able to do a redo week to week, as times sometimes are tough and sometimes are not. But
Yes,
as
indeed.
we was discussing, Phineas, we roll with the punches. I want to say hello to the world famous Phineas T.L.
Hello, Bob. How are you? And how is everybody? And a special welcome to everyone viewing from Canada because it is a holiday Monday in Canada, Queen Victoria Day. So welcome to
Wow.
everybody from Canada, and hoping you all are having a happy and safe holiday long weekend. So there we go.
That's that's cool. I didn't know that. I'm glad you mentioned that. I been so busy all weekend long with so many different things, projects and stuff. I didn't give a chance to do any research on what day we were coming up on. But yeah, I do know it's Monday, and that's all that counts, right? And
Indeed,
we
indeed.
want to, say that our hearts are with all the folks. It's been a tough week this week with volatile weather across the United States, especially the South. So our hearts are with the folks in Missouri, as Rob would like to say, or Missouri, as us in the South say, and Kentucky, as they had devastating storms over the weekend. And
Yes,
it's that
indeed.
time of year, and they can pop up out of anywhere. We had some here in the Metroplex last night that were strong, heavy winds, hail. We were spared on this side of town, but today it's 82, and we got a chance for storms again this afternoon. So weather can always surprise you at times.
It's that time of year when the weather changes and shifts, and when the hot weather comes through, it creates quite a stir. I mean, even Michigan got a tornado this year, this past week, Battle
Oh,
Creek. And so yeah, it's been quite volatile pretty much anywhere there's shifting weather. So there we go.
yes, and as we like to talk about here in the South, in the DFW Metroplex, we got high dew points and humidity. It is
Hmm.
sticky as can be here today. The old saying, you can cut it with a knife, well, you can literally cut it with a butter knife. It's so heavy out there. So everyone in the South, stay alert, keep up with your weather. We're in that time of year when, as we mentioned, volatile weather can come out of nowhere, as it did the other night. Those folks were sleeping and had no warning, and
Yes.
that's why we had the fatalities we had. As long as the warning systems are there and they can spot it, quick enough, even if it's minutes or seconds, it can save a life. And
Hmm.
so stay on top of your weather radios, keep your phones handy with weather alerts, set up on your phones.
Yep.
I think that's really important. It's like I said, it's just that time of year. You just got to
Yep.
be aware.
Make sure your weather radios have fresh batteries, or if they're the dynamo ones, make sure you're able to crank the dynamo just to be safe, because you don't know how long the power is going to be out. So always have fresh batteries and options available for you. So
Yeah, Carol and I's son lives, Angie's older brother, lives about 30 minutes from us east, due directly east of where we're at. And between us and he, which is like I say 30 minutes, a big storm popped up the other night, went right across their town, and had golf ball to ping pong size hail in some areas, some a little larger than that. Went right across one of the Buc-ee's, did some damage to signage and uh, a handful of houses and things over there. It was straight line winds, they determined, but power went out in their town, and it was out all night. This happened around 10:30, and they didn't get the power back on until 5 a.m. So, as Phineas says, if you've got a generator or a battery pack, keep those handy and keep them charged. And if
yeah.
you got the generator, make sure you have oil and gasoline. Son didn't have enough oil in his crankcase to crank his up, so he just suffered it with the consequences. So I told him to get up the next morning and go straight to the store and get himself some oil for his engine on his generator.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
All right,
Truly.
so how is the weather up there in the beautiful north of Canada, or for you the south of Canada, but it's north of me, so
It is currently 59 degrees and sunny here, so it is pretty much a perfect day.
that's great.
Santa David just commented that it is perfect, just absolutely beautiful. I was out in the garden just doing some more spring cleanup and making sure everything is happy for Mrs. Claus and Mr. Claus. So it's all good. So just a lovely day. So
Very good. That makes me want to say dirty words. I envy you
Real
guys
soon
this time
hit
of
the
year
high
for
90s
sure.
and humidity.
Like I used to tell Randy, I don't envy you in the winter, but I definitely envy you in the spring and early summer. You guys have really got the perfect weather up there at times.
Yep.
Okay, hey, let's do this. I think it's about time we probably played Santa B's inspirational weekly video. I look forward to this each week, and as we will discuss here in a bit, Santa B will be our guest tomorrow night. We'll talk more about that later. Let's do this first.
Ho, 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 and happy day, my friends. Santa B back with you here again today. And one of the things that I have learned as a Santa portrayal artist is that it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of effort to make sure that my wardrobe is right, to make sure that my hair is right, to make sure that my beard is right. And I figured out finally that I also need to make sure that my heart is right. That every day that I step out of my house, I am carrying with me the portrayal of Santa Claus and the message of Christ. So taking time to focus on that is an important step to take, to make sure we spend time in the Word on a daily basis, to open ourselves up to the message of Christ and what Christmas truly is. I love you all. Be blessed. Bye-bye.
I look forward to his messages. He does them daily on his Santa Rob page, but he does a special one for us on Mondays. And I always look forward to those. If you're down in the dumps, just take a few of his words and think about them for a moment, and they'll definitely lift your spirits. Yeah, look forward to those. Let's say
Yep.
hello to Santa Alan Mitchell. How are you, buddy?
Hey, Mitch, good to see
Raymond
you, sir.
Bradshaw's with us. Of
Yeah,
course, we
we've got
mentioned
Raymond
David.
from Benton. I see Patrick Moss from Houston, Paul Anderson from up my neck of the woods. Hi, Paul. Sean White from Michigan is here. Gary Lindner, Ernie Russo is with us. Bill Coates is with us, as is Santa Doug. So good to see everyone. Kane Smith has joined us as well. So good day and happy Monday to everyone. So thank you for coming.
Santa Doug is with us.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if I find anybody else up through here. I don't. I got to share a little thank you to Bill Coates. He and I had a good conversation through Messenger this weekend, and it was good talking to Bill. Come find out Bill's dad lives in our hometown. He lived here for a number of years and grew up here. So turns out Bill and I probably crossed paths many times and didn't know each other back in the early years of our life, high school, and those formative years following. But it's good talking to Bill yesterday. Good to see you, my friend.
And Chris Skillings from London, Ontario has joined us. Hello, Chris. We've got Santa Bill Gorbett from up in my neck of the woods again, and Joseph Cunningham from Valparaiso, Indiana. So good to see you, Santa Joseph. So thank you for joining
Well,
us.
guys, and thank you for joining us. We certainly do appreciate you coming on and catching the shows on Mondays.
Yeah.
When we started the Monday shows, 3 p.m. seemed like a good time slot. But then, as you go along and you start to look at things, don't realize how busy folks are at 3 in the afternoon Central Time. Everybody's out doing different things. You have, a lot of folks still work or they work part-time or they have errands to do. And we do appreciate you taking time to drop in. Santa Bob Warriors with us today. Hello, Robert. Good to see you, my friend. As always, hope your driving days are going good for you. He is a truck driver and
Yep.
one of those that we have to take our hat off to because everything moves by truck or rail, and it's always good to see you guys out and about. All right, you know what I think is a good time to let's go ahead and let's jump into this big old burger that we got waiting for us today. Got a good one as always, and we'll be back after this.
All right, today's Something Burgers topic is about what's coming up for us. Some of us in particular, the summer Santa gigs, the Christmas in July, the Christmas in August gigs. But I'm not going to talk to you about what you guys wear because that is something that everybody talks about in the chat groups. But I want to know if you do book a summer Santa event, a Christmas in July, a Christmas in August, what do you do at them? What do you approach summer Santa events differently than typical holiday season events? And if so, what is different in your approach to a summer Santa events and gigs? I will go first in that we are not so focused on asking folks what they want for Christmas. We are asking them, particularly children, how they are doing, helping out around the house. Are they helping out? Are they doing well at school? We're focusing on the message of being good citizens, good individuals, polite to their parents, good to their parents, and that type of situation. It is not about what would you like for Christmas or anything like that. It is more about having a visit. We often do a story time where we talk about what Santa does during the summer with Mrs. Claus, what Phineas is doing during the summer, particularly as the reindeer are out in the pasture getting their food and natural food and lots of exercise outside of the farmyard and the barns. So we focus on that type of storytelling. It is more of a storytelling kind of event versus a typical visit with photos and handing out gifts and such like that, unless they ask for specifically, hey, we do have summer gifts for Santa and to hand out or what have you. But it is more based on having a visit. It is more based on storytelling. So looking forward to hearing what everyone else who does summer Santa events does during their events and how is it different than their holiday season events.
And that's a great point about storytelling and talking about the reindeer and reindeer barn and the activities that go on there. Can talk about Mrs. Claus's kitchen and how her and the kitchen elves prepare meals each time. I mean, there's so much associated with the North Pole that you can broaden those stories out and really have fun with the children. I think engagement is a key factor. Always give those children your attention. Always look them in the eye. Listen is the first word I would say. But engage them. Ask them how school went. Ask them what they plan on doing for the summer. Are they taking a short vacation trip? And you don't have to get into details for those. Just engage them and get them thinking about how much fun they can have during the summer. And as Phineas said, bring out what the season is and talk with it about them.
I often end up wearing a Victorian style swimsuit because one of our big gigs is actually at a trailer park that has a private beach. And so often Phineas will go out and play in the beach sand with the children and go play beach volleyball or make sand castles with them because once more, we're doing stuff during the summer. So tailor it to the summer, make it specific. I love having water gun fights with the children because they all have super soakers or hoses or what have you. So think about the creative stuff that you can do because you're not wearing the big expensive $2,500 suit of red and velvet with fur and stuff like that. So there's lots of options to go beyond just the sitting in a chair and asking folks what they want for Christmas. Summer is a time at least in the northern hemisphere for play and for enjoyment. And I see Santa Doug's got something in the comment fields for us.
Yes, he does. So does Santa Bob. For one, if you've got a water park in your area, reach out to those water parks. That is the perfect place for summer Santa. Put on your Santa swimming attire or your Hawaiian shirt. Like I said, I'm not going to really get into the wears, but dress it appropriately and see if you can go out, pass out some business cards or talk to folks, at your downtown area, coffee shops, boutiques, bookstores, all are prime targets where Santa can get work during the summer.
Yep. There are often theme parks that, like just about every area has a Santa's Village, kind of like there's one in Dundee, Illinois, and I do know they have their own Santas there. Phil Wentz was their Santa, as does Northern Ontario. There's Santa's Village up in Bracebridge, Ontario. But there are other theme parks, and see if they're doing a Christmas in July event or a holiday themed event during the summer season, because it's always a good time to be there and get event planners thinking outside of the box and that type of situation. But
Absolutely.
what Robert,
And I was just going to say zoos. We have a Dallas Zoo and a Fort Worth Zoo.
yep,
Zoos are another area that you can go out and target.
yes. So Robert Auer states that he tells stories about the elves, and he's working on juggling with stories. So very
Cool.
interesting.
Cool.
Santa Doug says summer Santa is very different. Depends on the event. Doug and Jenny do baseball games where they socialize, take photos, throw out the first pitch, sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game," etc. We're also doing steamboat tours, which we will be talking about the history of the resorts around our lake from Santa's perspective. They also do parades, which are very much different from Christmas parades, as they are longer and they have more opportunity to interact with the children. Well, definitely, because it's not freezing cold as it would be in Indiana during that time, or Illinois during that time. And Ernie Russo says, I'm the same Santa in summer except the winter, except for what I wear. Perhaps different questions and answers for the children. And boy, is it hotter where he's at than what he's used to at the North Pole during the summer. Gary
Yeah, for
Lindner.
sure. And I think just about every little town across the nation celebrates, and everybody does, but especially your smaller communities, always celebrate the 4th of July. Now, I know it's a little bit early in July, but it is still Christmas in July, even though it's not right around the 25th of July where a lot of folks would normally celebrate that. But 4th of July parades are a great way. And if you've got the stamina and the ability to walk those parades, take your big old sack full of, a Santa sack, uh, of course, a downsized one, but a smaller handheld, and fill it full of candy canes, and walk the route and pass those out. Me and Darla, Mrs. Claus Dallas, Darla Bicknell, did that one year for the Lone Star Santas, and we had so much fun doing that. She took one side of the street, I took the other. We also had Jim Flynn, who is down in South Texas in the San Antonio area. And the three of us walked, everyone else rode the trailers, the floats. The rest of us walked behind and had a excellent time, albeit it was 104, 105 plus the heat index. We all liked it died, but we had a good time doing it. It was a 2-mile route, so
Let's see. Gary Lindner says he's on vacation, just stopped by to say hello and want to remind them to be kind and try hard to follow the golden rule.
Gary, are you going to SOS this year? I know you've been going every year. I don't know if we've asked you that or not, but if you are, let me know. If not, we'll catch you another time. But looking forward to SOS coming up soon.
Santa Bill Gorbett does a few campgrounds each year. He normally plays summer games. He goes swimming, reads stories, and just has fun. So, and Doug Wright states it was for a summer fashion show, and Santa wore shorts, a shirt, a summer hat, and red tennis shoes. mingled with the mom and the children after the event. It was a fundraiser for a college scholarship drive. He normally doesn't do summer events.
And that's a good point too, Doug. With fundraisers, lots of fundraisers this time of year for different reasons, be it Little League baseball, football, for school after school activities. Of course, school's letting out right now, so that kind of it won't be as prevalent as it would be earlier in the year. But there are so many opportunities in the summertime that still may not seem like the traditional place for Santa to show up, but it's always fun. Always fun. Well, let's say hello to Santa Mark and Charlie Johnson joining us this afternoon. Hi, guys.
Good day, gentlemen. Nice to see you. Dana Prostrollo has joined us as well. So hello,
Hi, Dana.
Hoping all is well. Ray Bradshaw from Denton, Texas says that he does summer Santa photos and also often does a dunk tank as well as Santa. So, which could be fun. And Paul Anderson,
he lives in the Denton last year, so that should have got him some brownie points.
And Paul Anderson also states that he's been up in the dunk tank chair as summer Santa a few times, so that could be kind of fun, although, that would put some folks on the naughty list, I'd think, if Santa got dunked.
Again, carnivals, jubilees, different summer fairs, all places that you can find things to do.
Actually, Kevin Scarf and I were just at the Niagara Renaissance Fair this past weekend.
Renaissance.
And when the coordinator saw me there and said, why isn't Phineas here? And I said, I didn't know whether or not you'd want Phineas here. And I said, and did you want Phineas to bring someone else with him next time? So that is definitely something to think. If you've got more of a Father Christmas kind of character or a St. Nicholas kind of character, that Renaissance fairs could be a very good outlet for summer. But again, dress appropriately because they can be quite hot and they can also be very, very muddy as well. So.
Which brings me to a good point too, Penny, is talking about Renaissance fairs. There's a lot of other types of characters that we talk about this in the Sat Bob's course about what can Santa do outside of the Christmas season. And I mean, there's so many opportunities, that you can do. Renaissance fairs is one of them, but pick a different character, a pirate, a hillbilly. I mean, anybody that will fit the situation. Build a character around it. Do the same thing you do when you got into being Santa. Research the character. Make sure that your language and your attire is appropriate for that time period or whatever whatever character you may be bringing on. But do a little bit of homework, a little bit of study. Go out and sell that character as a summer character outside of the Santa community.
There's plenty of opportunity. I know lots of Santas who work at the pirate festivals. I know Ramsey Kalishaw out west is quite busy with the pirate festivals. There are steampunk festivals and even attending Comic-Cons too, as whichever form of costumed individual you'd like to.
Ray Bradshaw's big in Comic-Con, so he knows all about that and how many characters there are there. If you can dream it and build it, you can do it.
Yep. Let's see. Santa Doug says there's so much to do in July: pool appearances, birthday celebration, weddings, festivals, birth announcements. He understands that some people think that Santa should only be around at Christmas time, but there's opportunities if you're willing to take them. So there's plenty of opportunities.
As I mentioned, even if you go not as Santa, but as some other character, Cupid, or I mean, any character. It doesn't matter if you've got a beard. I mean, even on St. Patty's Day, put green dye in it, or temporary dye, and go as a leprechaun. I mean, there's so many opportunities. A lot of guys think once they bleach, process, turn white naturally, or grow the beard, that they're stuck in that role, but they're not. There's
temporary hair colors
so
available.
many opportunities.
Yep.
Think outside the box.
Yep, Santa David does Captain Greed, who is a pirate, and sometimes he does have First Mate Finn with him, and Captain Greed even does Vacation Bible Schools, uh, helping looking for treasure buried in churches, only to find out there's more important treasures to be found. So there we
That's a
go.
very valid idea there, David, with Vacation Bible School and the buried treasures and that sort of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
Again, if your mind can think it, go out and put the plan in place and do it.
yep. And both Robert Auer and Santa Jamie came up with wizards pretty much simultaneously,
Mhm.
with Merlin at a Renaissance fair. So and wizards. So lots of opportunity if you are looking for something to continue your work as a performer during the summer months, particularly if you're not comfortable with performing as Santa during the summer months. So just got to think out of the box and be flexible and make a character that's just as you as your Santa is. So
Our Sean White says she thinks she needs to be a pirate, and that's another good point. It doesn't matter your gender.
yep,
Pirates are pirates. You can have male, female.
yep,
Just throw the garb on and go have fun.
yes. Well, that is excellent. We've got a lot of good ideas, a lot of
Yeah.
conversation, and
David says balloon swords for the kids. Another one,
mhm,
if you do balloon busking or know how to do balloon art, excellent opportunity to work in, different ideas there.
yep,
Again, Cupid, you could do the bow and arrow,
mhm,
which is a big one that Spangle does. That's always a crowd favorite.
yep. Even just simple hearts and stuff like that, handing them out as Cupid
Little
or
flower,
yep,
arrangement for the wrist or for your hair.
lots.
I mean, the balloon art's endless. I can't. Again, if you can think it up, you can. Somebody's already built it can teach you how to do it. So
Santa
just
Doug,
like
I
Ray Bradshaw's got another one.
yep, Ray Bradshaw does Papa Emeritus the Third, who is a character from the band Ghost, and he brings joy and smiles to the fan, and it's about bringing happiness to others in our dark time, no matter who or what you are portraying. And Santa Doug came up with a good one, and I've helped a couple of fellas with that one. Papa Smurf, you need a pair of red pants, a blue shirt, and the willingness to paint your face blue. And I've helped a couple of gentlemen learn makeup application that won't permanently dye their skin blue. To go as Papa Smurf. So there's, I mean,
Tell
you
you what,
don't
I
even
thought I was
really
going
have.
to have to go to work at the mall one day as Papa Smurf because I got up that morning after processing my hair a few days prior, and it still had a little brashiness in it. So, of course, I used the purple shampoo, and
Mhm.
I don't know what went wrong because I had used it time and time and time again and never had a problem. But I got out of the shower that morning and I was purple. I mean, really purple. And I freaked out. I'm thinking, what am I going to do? I've got to be at work in 2 hours, and luckily, I thought about the old adage of, and this actually came from a lady at Sally's that has taught me so much about hair processing and hair care. To take half of your developer and half shampoo and work it back in, and it'll remove that out of there. So if that ever happens to you, or you can, a lot of folks say you can use Dawn dish detergent or different things, but you can actually use your, like I say, half and half mixture with
Mhm.
your regular shampoo and your left and
Yep,
get it right out of there.
there you go. And
Like
Santa
Jamie's
Jamie's,
got one for you.
yep, he loves doing reading with Santa events at the library during the summer, especially if they've got this is a good one for me because I love doing the library shows. Every year, the libraries have a specific theme that they do, and if you learn what that library theme is, that all the libraries do, and say that you're going to tailor your reading with Santa event around that theme, you will make every single librarian the happiest person that they can be. Because if you are able to base it around that theme each year, and they generally announce it around October, the year prior through February, you should be able to find suitable books and suitable things to talk about. And Doug Wright also states, don't forget Uncle Sam. The beard might be different, but every town needs one for their parade, which is the truth. So
Again, Doug, you could always take and do red, white, and blue your beard and with temporary spray.
Mhm.
I want to real quick give a shout out there for Jamie. Jamie Dozier and John McLeod, J Mac, have polar opposites on Thursday nights following males and other selected dates. They're not on every Thursday, but they are on a lot. They had a 2 hour special this last Thursday. What a fantastic show. If you have not gotten over and caught Jamie and J Mac on Thursday nights with polar opposites, get over and do so because it's a great show. It's different, it's a different format, it's pros and cons, it's back and forth, and it's audience participation. It's a great show. And we over here at TNL are proud to have them as part of the platform and working hard to bring content to you weekly or pretty much weekly. Shannon says 4th of July Santa. Jamie says library theme every time. And you're welcome, Jamie. Keep up the good work, guys.
Keep up the good work, Jamie and J Mac. Good.
Charlie got frozen out for a minute. No, I didn't think it was that cold up there, Charlie.
I was going to say it's not that cold.
Kane said, I noticed this, Kane, when you made the comment on the TNL page that you're going to have to work Thursday night, wasn't going to be able to watch Jamie and J Mac, but he did get back, Jamie, and got to watch the recording for the first time this weekend. He says, fantastic show. So there you go. Every other Thursday, Jamie says. Well, and that's pretty much been true. There has been a couple times when you've had to go back to back due to scheduling changes, but every other Thursday. Now, on the 5th Thursday, as we will mention here in a bit, is and there's only a handful of months out of the year that has a 5th Thursday this year. But Santa Chris is over on that night with his show, Christmas Connections, I believe it is.
Christmas Crossings.
There you go. I knew I had that wrong. It didn't sound right. And Ron McLam has joined us. Hey, Ron, congratulations on your on all the good stuff you're doing over there, brother. And he was having fun with AI this week, so we enjoyed those. We've been watching a lot of those with Judge Judy and some of the others where they take and put it in AI and change it to toddlers or small children. And Ron was playing around with that this weekend. Was a lot of fun watching your videos, Ron. AJ is with us. Hello, AJ.
Hello, AJ. How are you, sir?
Yeah, well, you know what? I think it's probably time to let's just go ahead and move along. Looks like most of the comments have slowed down. That was a great segment, as always. I always so much look forward to that first segment each week because it just really, it adds so much to our perspectives, our way of thinking, and opens up the mind to new ideas. And you guys shared, and you knocked it out of the park again today, as always.
Thank you.
All right, so at this time, let's go ahead and jump into our santascloset.org trivia, and we'll be back right after the lead in.
Hey everyone, Angela Mack here for Bob and Phineas Live, the show about nothing. Season 4 of Bob and Phineas is brought to you by santascloset.org, where you can find all your accessories for the discriminating Santa, Mrs. Claus, and the elves. Visit Santa Wade's website at santascloset.org today, where they are known for delivering unique, value-packed Santa and Mrs. Claus accessories since opening in 2004. The goal has always been to provide both a superior customer experience at a tremendous value. Their products are fairly priced, and Santa Wade strives to bring many different products to the Claus community. Visit the website and make your next season a truly special one. This is Angela Mack reminding you all to catch our show every Monday at 3 p.m. Central, presented by TNL Network Productions. Thanks for watching. Now let's get back to Bob and Phineas in the TNL studios and today's Monday Santa's Closet Trivia.
All right, Phineas, I just want to give a real quick warning. Let's put it as warning that the first portion of this trivia question is a little bit tricky. You've got to listen close and think a little bit different on this one. Go ahead, Phineas, and let them have it.
Okay. What kind of cake is traditionally associated with birthdays? And in ancient Greece, what were the first birthday cakes made from?
Seems simple enough, doesn't it?
It seems simple enough. What kind of cake is traditionally associated with birthdays? And in ancient Greece, what were the first birthday cakes made from?
I was kind of surprised at both those answers when, when I was, of course, looking at possibilities for today's trivia, and I ran across those. That was actually two separate questions in where I was doing my research, but
Mhm.
I brought them together to make one question out of them. But I was surprised at both answers. So, okay,
And
guys, y'all work on that. We're going to go ahead and jump over here and run our thank yous real quick, get that out of the way. And again, we will be right back after this. AJ's working hard on that trivia, but he's not getting anywhere close. You're really cold, AJ. You need to think a little different, brother.
yeah, I was just going to
Uh,
say, AJ, cold, very
He
cold.
is real cold. I want to go over and catch Santa Bob had put up, Robert Oyer had put up, we're doing a food drive in July. That's another great way to get yourself out there in July. Food drives
Yep.
are important all 12 months of the year.
Yes.
Don't just wait till one certain month or another. That's something you can do January through, up until you start your Christmas season, really.
Yep.
So that's another great one. Want to say hello to Santa Mac, one of my favorite people in the whole wide world. He's joined us. Thank you so
Yes.
much, Jeff, for the kudos there. Shannon McCann says, great show, Oswald. Thank you, sir. We appreciate that too. Looking forward to decorating that door here in a few weeks at SOS. Going to be fun.
Thank you for joining us.
Sue Redlaw threw a comment in. You want to catch that one, Phineas?
Yeah, Sue just got home from work and was checking in. She left her phone in the car, so she couldn't say hi earlier. She quite enjoyed the suggestions for summer events. Thank you. Well, Sue, I hope you're able to find something this summer that fits with your Mrs. Claus and what you're doing. I've been watching your learning and progression quite closely, and I'm really happy that you're taking a lot of the stuff that you're learning and running. So thank you. Always great to see.
I think Sue was at Santa Ana this weekend, if I'm not mistaken. Had a good turnout there for that class that we have been helping promote here.
Yes.
It was good to see a good turnout. Looks like they all had fun, and it's always good to see clauses together, no matter what the occasion is.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Should we mention Phineas's award?
Any what?
Phineas's award that he
Well, we have not. Maybe we're going to get Phineas to tell everyone about that. The Hamilton Award. I'll talk about that in a moment.
I've been nominated by actually a fellow Santa, Santa Drew Madison, nominated me for a City of Hamilton Arts Award. There is a small cash prize for it, as well as proclamation by the city that I am one of their preferred artists and creators. I have made the short list. There was a field of 129. They've narrowed it down to 25. and there are 9 recipients this year. So I am currently in the field of 25. I will know for sure whether or not I've won the award by June 12th. I'm sure there will be an announcement and photos. There already has been the formal photo released from the city of Hamilton that I got to go for a photo shoot with a remarkable photographer. And that is currently my profile photo on my Facebook page. And it's quite interesting working with someone who is not working with the Christmas performer. And that is how you end up with a photograph that is not your typical Christmas photograph. And that is something I always try to say is, hey, if you're looking for photos that'll set you apart from other performers, find someone who doesn't work with Christmas performers, but is creative enough to work with you. So that is great. Thank you, David, for mentioning that. I look forward to finding out what the results were. I've been nominated twice before, shortlisted once before, and I was on the long list last year. So it's quite an honor to be nominated, and moving this far ahead is even greater honor. So it's nice to be recognized for what I do on behalf of the city and the arts community in the city. So that is always great. So
Congratulations and good luck, because we're pulling for you.
And Sue Radlaw just confirmed that she had a wonderful time at Santa Nana. So
saw her and Kathy Fick, and I mean it was a good turnout. You know, Kathy goes to all the Santa Nana things she goes to, and comes to Branson each year. She went to Cornerstone, so it's always good to see Kathy out and about doing her thing. And just got to congratulate her on her healthy choices and how nice she's looking. Taking care of herself really well here lately, which is good. Now, back to the trivia. You guys are overthinking the first part of this.
We have a winner.
We do have a winner? Okay.
We
We do
do.
have a winner. So I wasn't keeping up with all the comments, but I was saying that it was coming up with all kinds of really great things for the first portion of that, but it was really a lot simpler. And that's why I said it's tricky. But again, there may be some of the answers that you guys do research week in and week out may come up in a different source than what I always have. I try to double check my sources, make sure I get it correct, because I have made mistakes. I'm human, and I always try to find a second source that collaborates what I found. But and I have found though that sometimes it depends on what platform or what search engine you ask, you get different questions, or different answers to different questions.
Yep.
Okay, well, fantastic. Now let's go ahead and jump into the Up and Chatterbox News ECN for Monday. We do have big breaking news, and it was announced on Tuesday night. If you missed the TNL show, North Polk Cornerstones proudly announced that a new host city has been chosen for the 4-day classes for 2026. Last 2 years, we started off our first school and our second school in San Antonio. And due to the craziness of pricing jumping, and I've said it here before, but food and beverage in that city has jumped at the hotels. And it wasn't just the hotel that we were at. We extensively looked at every hotel that had conference space that would accommodate us. And I think them guys have got together and conspired. But F&B has gone up by anywhere from 125 to 150% in the San Antonio area. So we had to move out of San Antonio. We hate, to go off and leave San Antonio behind. It was a great host city. Lots of fun things to do down there. Marriott was really good to us for 2 years. But sadly enough, the folks that work at that particular location were great, but it was a corporate deal. So it is what it is. I'm sorry, excuse me.
Bless you.
So NPC is moving to a new location. Again, thank you. I'm so sorry.
Bless you.
Oh man, as I've mentioned before, pollen is terrible in the South. Anyway, we have moved a new host city. We will now be for 2026 in Oklahoma City North. That's north side of Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. We haven't announced the actual hotel and or the date yet. That is coming in the next few days. The only reason we haven't is we want to be able to launch our registration at the same time that we announce, that way there's no confusion. Folks aren't trying to go to the hotel to book their rooms, because we will have room blocks as always. You have to book through our site to get that price. And we just want to make sure that when we launch, everything is out there together. We're looking at launch date for June 1st. So that's just 2 weeks away. Hold off for 2 more weeks and we'll have that out there. As soon as it becomes active and open, that information will be posted on our new Facebook group. That's facebook.com/groups/NP Cornerstones. And if you are not a member over there yet, which I know many of you are, but many of you aren't, get over there and become a member, because that is where all of our firsthand information will go. You'll see it and hear it first there, and then it will be transferred on over to the website as we get that established. And we want to just thank everyone so much. NPC is very fortunate to have so many friends, collaborators, guest presenters, folks who devote their time or dedicate their time or give to us to help us put this on and set it up. And just want to say thank you to everyone. Now then, let's go ahead and pick it up from there, Phineas.
So September 18th to 21st, if you're in the Chicago, Illinois area, Santa Ana Holiday University, that was the one that was originally scheduled for earlier in May, is going to be in Schaumburg, Illinois. So once again, Santa Ana Holiday University, run by Deanna Golden and Judith Broderick. They will be in Schaumburg, Illinois from September 18th to 21st of this year. In coming up in July of this year, the clown, our good friend Spangle, is running School of Santas in Branson, Missouri, July 17th through 20th, and with the keynote instructor being Lee Andrews. Lee Andrews, who is a well-known clown educator. He works plenty of the fair circuit. He does library shows. He works as Santa in Miami and also for Atlantis Resort in the Bahamas. So he's got quite a breadth of experience despite how young he is, as well as he has taken over ProNose and ProFace. So if you use the photo ready makeup kits and the eyebrow whitening pens, he has those as well. But Lee Andrews will be the keynote instructor. I do know Mrs. Claus Vintage, Sean White, will be there as well instructing. But as per usual, Spangles has a full roster of people there to speak. Other vendors going to be there, lots of and entertainment, and of course, as always, the famous cobbler. So looking forward to that.
And we want to mention that Lee Andrews, Louis, is his comedy and clown. He works so many days out of the year doing that. It was really Spangle had actually started trying to get Lee a couple of years ago, and Lee books up years in advance for the traveling show. And so finally was able to get him secure this year. It's going to be quite the honor to have Lee in for Branson for School of Santas. Fantastic human being. We've had him on the show before on Tuesday night. Humble, family man, and one heck of a comedian and clown. And like I said, nobody works harder than Lee does. He is out there on the circuit, going from state fair to county fairs to jubilees. His schedule is daunting, and lucky enough he's still healthy and young enough that he can get out there and perform. And our hat again is off to him, because he does a fantastic job.
And if you do get a chance to talk to Lee, ask him to tell you the story as to why he does not ever want to work with reindeer again. And I'll just leave it up with that. Wear your Depends and bring lots of Kleenex, because you will be crying so hard you'll be laughing or doing something else so hard.
Yeah, exactly. Did you mention that SOS Branson is only 59 days away?
I did not mention that. I was
We're down under the 60-day mark now, 59 days away. They'll be here before we know it. We're so excited. Spangle calls me every hour on an hour just about to keep me updated on what he's doing, what's next, what he's accomplished. And I'll tell you what, speaking of working hard, nobody works as hard as Spangle does when it comes to putting his school on. He is all in and puts on a fantastic school and party. We call it a party for a reason.
Yep.
And many of you have been there, and we hope to see the rest of you there soon. If you have not, there may be a couple of seats left. Get your name in if you want to go, or reach out to Tanya Lay at Branson Ticket and Travel and see if she can get you in. We'll figure out a way to stack you somewhere. Okay, so right here, right now, before we go on, we want to stop for a moment because we have a chance to look at a couple of photos from Santa Nana's this weekend. And Angela's going to put that up, and we're going to check those out real quick. Quite the group, as I had mentioned.
Yes,
Yar, I see a pirate in the group.
the RB Pirates.
Yeah.
And there's a mean
What's
green
that
guy.
up on the top left? You see up at the top left?
I see the mean green guy. Yes, indeed.
He's there, isn't he?
Yep.
How about that?
This one here was taken at Castle Noel.
Castle Noel,
And
okay.
that's some of the participants at the Santa Claus Day in Medina. How are you saying that?
Medina.
Medina.
Okay, let me get the other picture.
Okay. Great group of folks there. Wait a minute, that's Phineas. He wasn't there, Phineas. Quit trying to fool everybody. Neither was I. There you go.
Okay, this one here is the participants from Santa Nana School.
That's correct. Of course, we see Kathy Pick on the far right-hand side. We see Shirley Werner and her husband in there. We see Judith Broderick. Of course, Kimmy right there in the front with Deanna.
I was going to say Kimmy
And
right there.
Sue's over on the far left over here.
Yep.
Great group of folks right there. Wow. And, you know, look how they've all got red on. I got to know because I have not asked Deanna this, but was that planned or was that by chance? It had to be planned. Maybe Sue can let us know if they ask everyone to wear red for that photo. Anyway, fantastic shot. Good to see that. Let's pick up where we left off here on our announcements. We want to talk about previewing the Tuesday Night Live show coming up tomorrow night, as I had mentioned earlier in our opening, but we want to give it a little bit of time here. Come get to know TNL's very own Robert Wood. Now, Santa Robert Wood is from Joplin, or living in Joplin, Missouri, as he says. I call it Missouri, as I've mentioned. And Rob has been with us for a couple of years now. I got to say, Rob signed up to come to School of Santa's. And when he got there, he volunteered himself to help unload Spangle's bobtail truck. Spangle always brings a bobtail full of refrigerators. And a matter of fact, that was one of the things Spangle just let me know yesterday was he bought a third refrigerator for the school. Now he has to bring those in and take them out with him because the conference center is only, you know, a lease for 1 week. They do have refrigerators, but it's not enough to hold all the food. So their commercial refrigerators get filled up really quick. So Spangle brings in others, and mainly everything is packaged for individual use, where he buys it in bulk. So once they get it packaged, then they put it in his refrigerators to store until it's put out on the serving line. Just to kind of feel that backstory on that. Anyway, Rob came in. Next thing you know, Scott pulls up with his 40-foot trailer full of truss and show lights and audio equipment and everything that Scott carries with him. And Rob jumped in, and before you know it, Rob was a full-fledged member of TNL, School of Santas, and now North Pole Cornerstones. He's there for all three events, and he is the grunt. He is the one that makes it happen. All we have to do is ask him if he would, take something on, and he gets it done, and always gets it done at a timely manner, and does a great job doing it. We're proud of Rob, and we want you guys to get to know Rob outside the red suit community. He is so active in the veterans. He is a veteran of Army, and he works with service dogs. I mean, he has so many things he does for his community outside of the red suit, plus his duties inside the red suit. So come join us tomorrow night and get to know Rob Wood, Santa B, who does our inspirational videos each week.
And to answer your question, Paul Anderson, who attended Santa Ana University a couple of occasions with his wife Arlene, the red and black is a specific request that Deanna and Judith make for the graduation picture. So
yeah, I thought that it was. I just want to confirm that, though. Deborah Kaiser says everyone needs to see Castle Noel. I agree, Deborah. If I make it up that direction, I am definitely, that's on my bucket list.
Comment there from Jeff.
Yeah, I'm looking at what Jeff had put up. I was reading it real quick. Jeff, any chance at some point someone could lead a session on using AI for beginners? Now, that's a good point, Jeff, and rolled into that show that I've been working on this. This was something that was brought to me about a month ago about AI and photographers, how AI is changing everything in our industry, especially for photographers. And we all know that there's folks out there that is doing AI can write a song, AI can take personalities and do the voices. I mean, there's nothing that AI can't do. Will it be used for good? Will it be used for bad? And AI for beginners, I think, is a great point to start the session that I'm working on off with, Jeff. I like that idea. Matter of fact, brother, I may have to ask you to come along and help out on that if you've got time. So I'll reach out to you. We'll talk about that later. But again, AI can be a godsend and AI can be the devil. So that's a broad subject that needs to be talked about, and it's moving along so fast, it's making everybody's head swim. So thank you, Jeff. I'll be reaching out to you, brother. I can ride the slide. Yeah, I like slides. I'm not too old for a slide, Deborah. Let's move along. Let's get into this. That bright red shovel that's got the spikes on the end. Yeah, that thing looks dangerous, man. You got to be careful with that. You might take a toe off.
That's why I wear steel toe boots.
Good choice, my friend. Good choice. All right, let's dig deeper with or digging deeper with Phineas. Either way you want to put it. Here we go.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good evening for those who are in the Eastern time zone now. For the past couple of months, I've been talking about character development, and we've been using a Yeti puppet as the focus. And now I'm going to explain how character development can help you with other items, such as selecting costumes and selecting props. Now, for Santa's, it's pretty simple because you have the red suit, and how you choose the red suit is entirely based upon what the needs of your character, what the folks who are hiring you are doing. So you can have the Coca-Cola style suit, you could have the Continental style suit, the Charles W. Howard style suit. So there's lots of options for that. You have the parade robes, the Father Christmas styles and such like that. But when the time comes and you've got all the stock items and you want to create something that is completely you, this is where having your character backstory developed, your who you are as a Santa, who you are as a Mrs. Claus, because some Mrs. Clauses may not want to wear the duster cap with the gray colonial wig and the aprons and the big flouncy ball gowns, just as some Santas may not be comfortable wearing the Coca-Cola style suits or what have you. So this is where developing your backstory will help you, because it will help you guide what you're comfortable wearing. Santa David, who I work with, often wears a workshop look, where he has an apron, he's got a pair of work pants, a pair of work shoes, and then just a simple shirt underneath the apron, because when we do our visits, particularly our virtual visits online, I've always pulled Santa from the workshop to come do the virtual visit. And that is based on who he is as a Santa. He's a very get your hands dirty working class kind of Santa, because he wants to make sure that things are perfect for the children, things are perfect for Mrs. Claus and the elves. Similarly, from my perspective, is Phineas. Phineas, his backstory, basically created the costume and the character, because he is much bigger as an elf, and his job at the North Pole is to work in the barns with the reindeer, and also help with the firewood and the trees management at the North Pole. So that's how come he dresses kind of like a lumberjack, with the plaid shirts and the Carhartt pants and everything like that. That has helped everything else I do as Phineas as well, because sometimes I get invited as Phineas to formal events. I was just mentioned that I will be going to an awards ceremony before too long, for the Hamilton Arts Awards. So if Phineas wins this award, Phineas will go in his formal attire. And I have a buffalo check plaid tuxedo jacket and bow tie and a black shirt. And I've also got a pair of dress pants that are made out of Carhartt brown duck cotton fabric. So it will be Phineas formal wear. I've also got a lovely formal hat that I wear, that is the same color of brown that my summer wear hat and the hat I wear as Phineas does. So everything about Phineas's backstory will basically coincide with how his costuming is, how his props are. This past weekend, I was at a Renaissance fair, and I happened across a wonderful pair of leather roping cuffs, and also known as bracers. And you will see that they are a lovely shade of green, and they have a deer head embossed on them. And because Phineas is going to be working a lot with the reindeer, it's going to behoove him to have roping cuffs to protect his wrist, because he's going to be all summer training the young reindeer how to handle wearing the harnesses and the bridle and be hooked up to the sleigh. So roping cuffs will protect Phineas's wrists from rope burn and such. So that has become part of his costuming during the summer months, is that he will be wearing that. And further towards that, as I stated, Phineas has a hat for everything in Phineas's trademark colors. So Phineas will have his very own brown cowboy hat that he will wear out in the pasture, working with the reindeer to keep the sun off, because it's sunny 24 hours a day, 7 days a week now during the North Pole. So he'll need to keep the sun from his eyes and his face, because these ears, when they get burned, sunburnt, it's not nice. It's not pretty. They get red and it's all painful and not good. So once more, everything that I have done as part of my backstory has translated into things that I use as props, things that I use as costuming. How so? Phineas is a bit of a misfit, and he hasn't really fit in, but he also believes that there's a use for everything at the North Pole. Everyone is special and everything like that. And Phineas has become someone who does a lot of recycling of old items. So when Phineas often sees items that are set aside because they're worn or too old to wear or something like that, so he often will repurpose them. So for instance, he's got one of Santa's suits, and this suit was a bit threadbare and worn, and it's seen one too many fireplaces. So he managed to take the suit and transform it into a guitar strap for Phineas to use during formal events. And so folks know that Phineas works with Santa Claus, and that if he is doing an event where Santa is not present, that he is there for a Christmas event for Santa. Similarly, everything else that Phineas uses, Bob commented when I brought out my notebook. The notebook is in the buffalo check pattern and everything. So it's branding for me, and it adds towards my characterization. And every little piece of lore helps show who you are as a character. So, if you are a Santa that is more of a working class blue collar Santa, you do a lot of work in the toy shop, think of, brown work pants like the Carhartt, or the green work pants that you often see folks in garages or farms wear, or something like that. They can still be made Christmassy with the appropriate attire, like the Santa aprons that you see, or the poet shirt in a Christmas pattern. Because if you're working in the toy shop, you're getting your hands dirty. You're going to be sanding wood. You're going to be working with paints. You're going to be working with glues and stuff, and you're not going to want your dress velvets or your dress wool wear to get dirty, or anything to get in the white fur. So use that to guide your characterization. Use that to guide your prop use. Similarly, Phineas has a naughty and nice meter that he brings with him, and because Phineas is kind of a very low-tech kind of guy, he works in a barn, he works with trees, it's made out of wood, kind of has a steampunk kind of look, because if it ain't broke, it was created back in the 1800s. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And Phineas will take care of the goods and everything like that. So this is a prop that is very simple to use. In case you're wondering, Roy Stone at Jamstone Magic makes them, and it's a very simple one. It's customizable to what you want it to be, but at the same time, it doesn't have to be something fancy or anything like that. But once again, it suits Phineas's aesthetic, his look, how he operates, and because everything gets used, everything gets reused. Things that are broken, Phineas will try to fix, because that's what he does at the North Pole. He wants to fix things. He wants things to work. So use your backstory to create your look, to create the props that you carry, help you tell your story just by having people look at you and understand who you are, what you're looking at. You look like Santa. You're wearing your workshop apron. You're wearing your work pants. They know that Santa just got off work. Phineas comes in wearing his coveralls and warm flannel shirt. Phineas just came in from the barns, or was test flying a sleigh or something like that. Mrs. Claus comes in, and she is in her office attire, and she has a clipboard with her, or she's carrying her cell phone or a notebook with her. That she's come in from the office. Similarly, if an elf comes in and they're wearing a chef's hat and a chef's coat, they've come in from baking cookies, and they're going to bring something yummy for Santa to try out. So once again, all of that can be your backstory, part of your backstory. And if you are smart about it, you can cut down on the things that you need to buy for yourself, because you can specialize in what your backstory fits. So that way you don't have to be all things to everyone. You can be the Santa you want to be, the Mrs. Claus you want to portray, the elf that you want to portray. So if you develop a backstory, you develop a character that's very specific, it will help you develop your own look. It will help you develop your brand and create something unique that people will want to have at their events, at their gatherings, and as part of their Christmas memories. Thank you, and have a good day.
Great information there, for sure. I want to show something real quick here, Phineas. Let me see if I can get this to work. That's what happens when you go out and try to wrestle a reindeer.
Yep.
It's always good to have proper attire on, right?
Always good to have the proper attire. You don't want to get any dung in your fur. So just going to say that.
For certain, that is for sure. Let's see. Deborah says I will have to find that picture. It's the slide from Christmas Story. Oh, okay. I know exactly what you're talking about, Deborah.
I'd like to be the Santa at the top of that slide when people go down it.
Yes, absolutely. And
It'll
of
shoot
course,
your eye out.
they have the lamp, the one-legged lamp that is
Yep.
famous.
Yeah.
And there is an actual a mall that has that set. And how cool would it be to be the Santa at that mall?
Yep.
Now let's go ahead and move along, and let's get our trivia answer going here. So, Phineas, go ahead and tell folks, read the question, and tell folks what those answers were.
Okay, so the question is, what kind of cake is traditionally associated with birthdays? And in ancient Greece, what were the first birthday cakes made from? And this was a kind of a trick question because what kind of cake is traditionally associated with birthdays? Birthday cakes. As a
Yeah,
matter of fact, we answer that question in the question. And
I warned you.
And in ancient Greece, what were the first birthday cakes made from? They were made from honey and bread.
Try honey and bread. Fantastic. Yeah, that sounds good. Angela, who's our winner?
Ron McLean.
Ron McLean wins that one. Fantastic, Ron. All right, brother. Now, I know that you don't watch every week, but your name will go on a hat for the NPC North Pole Cornerstones drawing that will be coming up before, well, the last show of this year for Tuesday night. Let's put it that way. That's the easiest way to put it. I was going to say before NPC, but then we're pushing it to 2026. We will do our drawing for the North Pole Cornerstone Scholarship, the last show of the season here at TNL for Tuesday Night Live. And your name goes into Wade over at santascloset.org. I want to say thank you to Wade and Scarlett for everything they do. But what I need from you, Ron, is I don't know. I know I've got your address somewhere. Send me your address and your T-shirt size, please, sir. And I'll get that over to Wade, and he'll get that out to you. Get a T-shirt for that win.
There was a comment on here from Doug Wright for Phineas.
And I just answered that.
Oh, okay.
It is Jamstone, Jamstone magic. And I put the website in there. Roy Stone is a Santa. He's based out of Ocala, Florida, and he makes a number of props for Santas, including the ever famous The List, which has approximately 33,000 names in it right now. So he does pretty good work, but there are definite options available. So
Charlie Johnson put in a link for that slide. What do we just hit show, Angie?
Yeah. No, I mean, all it's gonna do is show the link on this.
Oh, okay. It's not going to show the actual. Okay, so if you want to see a photo of that slide, Charlie got a link in the chat. Pick it up and go check that out.
Yeah.
Moving right along, don't forget to watch all the TNL Network Production 2025 list of shows that we have coming up. Phineas, you want to go through those real quick?
Definitely. Starting tonight at 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, we've got the Claws Connect with Shaun White. And tonight she has a mystery guest. Tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern, Tuesday Night Live with the featured guest Santa B or Rob Wood, who is a Tuesday Night Live North Pole Cornerstones family member, wonderful human being, great Santa portrayer, and just an all-around good guy. Does everything with a smile and just general kindness and goodness in his heart. Coming up on the 21st, being this Wednesday, Kringle Time with the Kringle Brothers. And I do believe they have the owners of Rooftop Landing Reindeer Farm this upcoming week. So
I sure do.
So And then Thursday night, 6 p.m. Central, 8 p.m., 7 p.m. Eastern is Santa's Magical Fellowship. And Santa Mel has a special guest for the full 2 hours. And I do believe that is Jeff McMullen this week, is it?
No.
No?
Jeff was on a couple weeks ago. It's Ed Taylor.
Ed Taylor this week. Excellent. So Santa Ed. And then next week on Thursday night will be, because it is the 5th Thursday in a month, on Santa's Magical Fellowship, will be Christmas Crossings with Chris Terry, Santa Chris Terry. So looking
That's
forward
right.
to it.
And another show that she's dedicated 2 hours to. So the fellowship show and Chris will be on for the full 2 hours. So and the way she's done that recently is she'll have Chris on as kind of a guest for the fellowship hour, and then he goes into his regular show, of course, following that. So, but it's 2 full hours with Chris.
Excellent.
All right, tune in, kick up your heels, join in the fun for 2025, all powered by TNL Network Productions. Fantastic job today, Phineas. As always, sir, you always bring it to the table, and we appreciate you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, Angela. Great to be here again. So.
And Charlie mentions that Dan and Dave Aldrich, owners of the Rooftop Landing Reindeer Farm, will, in fact, be the guests on the Kringle Brothers show.
Yes.
Excuse me. And I should have put that in our listing there, and I did for tomorrow night, where I talk about it there, but I didn't add it to the Monday. I'm sorry. Thank you, Deborah. Appreciate you. Appreciate everyone. Ron, get me that info over, and we'll get that out for you. Thanks to everyone for joining us today. Have a fantastic week. And you know what? May the Lord bless you. Count your blessings, not your sorrows. That's my close for Tuesday night. But I was telling Phineas in the green room before the show started, sometimes you just have to reflect on that and carry on. So goodbye, everybody. Good to see you. Thanks for showing up. And we will see you next Monday right back here. Don't forget to join all the shows the rest of the week. We've got some great ones coming up, including Sean's show tonight. Thanks, guys. Mystery Guest.